I have a spreadsheet here that has a student ID numbers and then it has their scores. So what I would like to do, and what you can kind of see in the other part of this spreadsheet, is I want the course name and the teacher name so that teachers can sort accordingly. So the way to do this is using something called Vlookup. And so I'm going to show you how to do it in Google Sheets. The first thing that you need to make sure that you have is you need to have your list that you want it to look at and try to match, or the two lists that you want to combine. You need to make sure that you have that all in the same workbook. So you'll see I have tabs down here. Sped Math was how I got the math courses and the math teachers' names in. Sped English was how I got the English and the English teacher names in. Sped Science is what I'm going to use. So you need to have it pretty well. So I have that ready to go. So the way that you do VLOOKUP is I'm going to click on the cell. I want that cell to equal, and then I'm going to type VLOOKUP. And then I want it to look at this state ID number, and then I hit a comma, and then I want it to go to this other sheet, and I want it to look at all of these cells. And then I'm going to put a comma in, and I want it to look, that was for the science course, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's the 11th column, so I'm going to, whatever's in the 11th column, I want it to paste in this cell where I'm typing this formula. And if it doesn't match exactly, I don't want anything. Now, I always want it to look at this entire cell, or this entire selection of this sheet. So I need to put a $ in front of the A, a $ in front of the 2. That means it's always going to start at A2. And then I want a $ in front of K and a $ in front of 128. And then I'm going to hit enter. And well, you can kind of see up here, it's automatically showing you what it would type in. And it is a course, so that's right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now it has an NA because for this student ID number, it did not find a science course for that student. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag it all the way down to the bottom, okay? And it pasted all of those things in. Now I can take this particular, I can either copy this formula, paste it there, and change only the column, which I could do that, or I could retype it. But I think I'm going to just copy it, and then over here I'm going to paste it. Now 11 was the course number, so I'm going to do 10, and that will give me the teacher name. So I'm going to hit enter. I would hope, since there's no science class, there'd be no science teacher. So we're going to go ahead and just pull that down again. Now, the only other thing after you do that, and VLOOKUP basically is just combining sheets, but it is always going to look at just one cell. It can't look at for two cells to match. So you may have to use concatenate to combine the cells if all you have is a first and last name. And you don't have a student ID number because it will only look at one cell. So now when you look at this, when I click on this particular cell, notice it takes me to A5, but it's still looking in A2 to K128. I want this one to advance because as it goes down, I want it to look at a new number. Now, if you notice, it does not, Biology 1 is not what this is, the spreadsheet is seeing. It's seeing a formula. So we need to highlight that column, right-click, and we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste values only. So paste special and the value only. That will change it to be Biology 1 instead of the formula there. So that you'll want to do that each time you use the formulas. You're going to want to probably do that because if you go to copy it and paste it someplace else, it is going to it's going to give you a reference error because it's looking for something that doesn't exist. So that's really all you've got. If you want to turn on the filters for that top row, click on the top row and then hit this little funnel guy up here, and it'll give you your filters. So one thing, I don't like the NAs, so typically I'll check off all of those things and just have NA on there, and then I'll just kind of delete that out and paste that over top. It's no longer a formula. It's not going to hurt anything by me doing this, but it also cleans it up and makes it look a little nicer. So you can do that for each of your columns just to kind of make it look nicer. And that's it.